The opening round of the 2021 GNCC Racing Series left no doubt that everyone came ready for the new championship season. Some questions were answered while many more were raised. Is there a true new contender in the ATV ranks? Or will the champ rebound back to his winning ways? Round number 2 of America's premier off-road racing championship is next.
Are you ready to go GNCC Racing?
Hello and welcome to round number 2 of America's premier off-road racing championship, the 2021 GNCC Series presented by Specialized E-Turbo Bikes and AMA National Championship. This is the Moose Racing Wild Boar GNCC as we come to you from the Rodman Plantation in Palatka, Florida. The Hog Waller is what this particular part of the facility is known for. And of course, as we kicked the season off a couple of weeks ago in Union, South Carolina, it was a wild one as Wesley Wolf got off to the early lead and the champ and the runner-up, well, they crashed in turn number 2. They had to fight their way back, and of course, a great battle ensued with Wolf up front early on, but it wasn't long before we saw Jared McClure sneaking his way up into the number 1 position. Also, we saw Josh Merritt, a strong run in the early part of the race. Great ride as well by Chris Borch, but as time would have it, and as the story goes, Bryson Neal and Walker Fowler began working their way up through the pack. First, it was Bryson Neal up to the front of the pack. He locked handlebars with the number 7 of the young Hunter Hart, and they opened up a pretty good lead. And Walker Fowler worked his way up through the pack up to second. But in the end, about 5 seconds ahead of the number 1, it was Bryson Neal capturing the season opening win with Fowler in second, Hunter Hart in third, Chris Borch in fourth, and an amazing ride by the sophomore John Glotta Jr. to round out the top 5.
We're super fortunate, to get this win because, right off the first corner, we was down on the ground, we was all the way in the back, and I pick myself up, I take off, and I look to my left, Walker, he's picking himself off the ground, so well, I guess I got a little break for that, but man, that first lap was insane. There was so many passing. I passed Walker, he passed me. I went up to like 5th, went back to last. I mean, the first lap was so insane, so many lead changes. It was a balls to the wall sprint from there all the way to the finish, and it was as close as it was. Walker did a great last lap, but that's the type of race we want to bring to the family and the friends back home and all the fans. Everyone wants something exciting, and hopefully Walker and the rest of the gang and all of us can keep making it exciting and have good races.
Well, that's what we're hoping for, Bryson Neal. As we said, we are here at the Hog Waller Mud Bog, a part of the Rodman Plantation in Palatka, Florida. 2-hour race and a 13.5-mile race course. Fans and riders out in full force as the green flag drops on this one, and it looks like that's going to be Hunter Hart grabbing the early lead in this one aboard the number 7 machine. Right behind him is the number 1 of Walker Fowler. Fowler, though, quickly to the front of the pack as we see him quickly doing a checkup over there, and it looks like Fowler followed by Hart, and that looks like Josh Merritt with another strong start out there on board that number 8 machine here in this XC1 Pro class. And it looks like that maybe Bryson Neal about a 7th, 8th place position back there as he's got his work cut out for him. XC2 Pro-Am class. Wyatt Wilkin taking the win at round number 1 at the Big Buck GNCC a couple of weeks ago. And it looks like Ronnie Rush, who got the whole shot and early lead last time out of the gate, does it again as he's up front. And that looks like that could be the 171 of Grayson Eller back there on that Phoenix Racing machine, opening up in a number 2 position out there. I know he's coming back from a knee injury that took place late in the ATV Motocross National Championship season last year, and hoping to be able to rebound and run strong here in the 2021 season as an XC2 Pro-Am class rookie. Back out front now with Walker Fowler, who is right where he wants to be, and that is on point and trying to stretch things out here. You can see Hunter Hart in the number 2 position back there. Josh Merritt is running third. That is Jared McClure in 4th, and look, already up to 5th place is the number 2 of Bryson Neal. He's not far off the pace. Looks like we got ourselves a race. Stick around. GNCC continues after this. Coverage of the 2021 GNCC Series on MAVTV is brought to you by Specialized E-Turbo Bikes. It's you, only faster. Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com. Get ready. And by Yamaha. Revs your heart. And welcome back to Palatka, Florida's Hog Waller for the Wild Boar GNCC. And we have a new leader here on lap number 2. Hunter Hart has taken over point away from Walker Fowler, now dropping back to the number 2 position. Looks like 3rd place is Cole Richardson. Bryson Neal up to 4th. Josh Merritt now in the number 5 position. And that is the number 5 of Chris Borich in the number 6 position, it looks like. Young Hunter Hart learning a few tricks of the trade, running behind Bryson Neal a couple of weeks ago in the opening round. Looks like he's trying to take that to task here today in the sands of Florida. Also, Hart doing a lot of training in the 2021 offseason in the sands of Florida. And look at this, Hunter Hart going to get stuck out there almost, and the old wily veteran and champion Walker Fowler recognizing, goes just a little to the side of that and is able to manipulate his way through these mud holes. He's almost using Hunter Hart, it looks like, to get through the mud holes, and Hunter Hart looking back saying something to Walker Fowler, almost like, all right, now your turn to lead, as if Hunter Hart was taking point through that section of the racetrack to save Walker Fowler from getting stuck out there, and they had opened up a little bit of a lead over the rest of the pack. Here comes your 3rd and 4th place positions. Looks like that Cole Richardson still in the number 3 spot, and that is still 4th place Bryson Neal. Neal trying to use Richardson for the same kind of situation, but they lose a lot of time in the meantime. Good move there by the champ to use Hunter Hart like that, and it almost seems like Hunter Hart may have been playing along with that. The gap is starting to shrink back up as Cole Richardson's bridged the gap back up. There's Bryson Neal still hot on his rear grab bar as well, as we find ourselves out near the FMF power point now, and Hunter Hart still on the rear grab bar of Walker Fowler, seeing a little bit of distance start to open up back to the 3rd place position. So something happened there, and we've got the 5th place rider of the number 8 of Josh Merritt now up to 3rd. Neal back to the number 5 position, as things have changed quite a bit. That is still Cole Richardson in 4th place position, so looks like a crafty move by Josh Merritt, putting him back up into a number 3 position. This kid, he's due for a top 5 and maybe even a podium. Maybe he might be able to make it happen here today. Back up to the 3rd place position, and 4th place position is Richardson and Bryson Neal, as the number 8 of Merritt will drop off just a little bit more back there. But as we said, I mean, he's making some pretty good moves, and that means that he may be about ready to make some pretty big steps at the same time. Out near the Monster Mile, as we see still Hunter Hart right on the rear grab bar of Walker Fowler as they make their way through this very sandy section, and they have not opened up much of a gap over the rest of the field. And that looks like, and it is now the number 2 of Bryson Neal up to 3rd. It is Merritt up to 4th, and Cole Richardson dropping off to the number 5 position as we head through some of these soggier bottoms. Why they call this the the Hog Waller. It is a mud bog facility and a trail riding facility where folks come out here and go mud running on the weekend. So that explains why we've got some low-lying areas out there. But look at this, Hunter Hart's regaining the lead over Walker Fowler as these two continue to duke it out up front. Is Hunter Hart due for a win today, straight up against the defending champ? Stick around to find out. The Wild Boar continues after this. Welcome back to the Moose Racing Wild Boar GNCC here on MAVTV. We are in Palatka, Florida at the Hog Waller. And of course, it is youth ATV racing that kicks off each and every Saturday morning in the GNCC Racing Nation. And no different in Florida as things got off and rolling. It was some of our top competitors from round number 1 Round 1 winner, Caden Spires, got off to an early lead in the mucky conditions out there. Led the first 3 laps of racing. Then he had some pressure applied by Caden Lambruno. Lambruno leading lap number 4, but at the checkers, it was Brody Lee taking the win. And get this, the top 3 were only 5 seconds apart.
I had a pretty good start. And then, this track was just so perfect. You could just ride everything pretty good. And I just put my head down and just rode as hard as I could and just came up with the win.
Well, Brody Lee out of Martinsville, Indiana, taking the win. Caden Lambruno out of Morgantown, West Virginia was second. Caden Spires, round 1 winner, was third. Tavin Cook was your 4th place position finisher. He's the New York rider, I'm telling you. Going to be one to keep an eye on. Just like this rider, Walker Fowler, the number 1, out front now ahead of Hunter Hart. They've swapped positions yet again, but valuable lessons being learned by this young rider. Hunter Hart could be a threat quicker than what Walker Fowler realizes. There's Bryson Neal, not far off pace now as he solidified the number 3 position. And you know, Walker Fowler could be using Hunter Hart as that kind of shield between he and the number 2 of Bryson Neal. It might be a good move, a good chess move, kind of a pawn, if you will, by Hunter Hart for Walker Fowler, as he'll use him to maybe deflect the advancements of the number 2 of Bryson Neal. But of course, he's got to hope that works and that the number 2 doesn't get around Hunter Hart if he's able to catch him. Now, Walker Fowler out in these mud sections by himself this time. No one to lead him through. It doesn't appear to be having any problems. He must have memorized the way through. One thing you can't tell about these mud holes out here, they can either be 2 inches deep or they can be 2 feet deep or deeper. And you not even know because the water is so dark and murky out there. You got to rely on the advice of some of the pointers out there, and you got to hope that the pointers don't point you in the wrong direction. A little action here in the mud hole as it looks like Bryson Neal has taken over the number 2 point away from the number 7 of Hunter Hart now. So that shield that Walker Fowler was maybe hoping for using Hunter Hart, not going to happen now as Bryson Neal was able to get around. Nope, wait a minute. Bryson Neal did not make that pass stick, and Hunter Hart is back to the position of being the shield for Walker Fowler, and it looks like exactly what Walker was hoping for may be happening as Bryson Neal tries to work through the pack. He's going to tangle with Hunter Hart. That's going to give him the opportunity to stretch things out. And look how it's played into his hands so far here in Florida. Crafty move by the old veteran there, helping out one and using him at the same time. But again, that could come to bite him in the future as Hunter Hart learns more and more about the way to ride up front. Well, it looks like, and you can hear that Bryson Neal is into the number 2 spot and trying to get around some lap traffic. You heard the high-pitched squeal. That was Neal yelling at the lap rider to get out of his way to let him know that the leaders were coming through, and he was trying to track down the number 1 of Walker Fowler. There is Neal, and he was within near sight of Walker Fowler. And if he looks close enough, I'm sure he can see the white helmet through some of those palmettos out there. Hunter Hart still in a solid and strong 3rd place position back there, running another great race. This is 2 great races in a row. This rider is going to be poised for wins real soon. Keep an eye on him, as is Cole Richardson, and that just keeps deepening the field. Richardson back in that number 4 position right now. Fowler trying to manipulate some of that lap traffic. A little harder for him, as we always like to say. The guy out front has a tougher row to hoe as far as that is concerned, but at the same time, it's not easy on anyone in some of these tighter sections out there. If you get stuck behind a slower rider, or a rider gets cross-rutted or stuck in the trail some way or another, you could find yourself losing a whole lot of time real fast. So line choice is critical, and getting around these lapped riders is very critical in the right places also. You can see right now that the number 3 of Cole Richardson is buried quite a bit back behind some of that lap traffic. And he's trying to work his way up through to latch on to Hunter Hart for that number 3 position. And speaking of latching on, Bryson Neal has done just exactly that. He has latched on to Walker Fowler, doing exactly to Fowler what he did to him 2 weeks ago at round number 1 at Big Buck GNCC. As we see the battle on for 3rd, at least there is the number 3 spot of the number 7 of Hunter Hart. Now, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, Walker Fowler came from way back and was able to track down the number 2 of Bryson Neal to within 5 seconds at the checker flag. We see that Bryson Neal has tracked down Walker Fowler now, so you know that's got to play a little bit of a mind game, being out front and having riders catch you like that. Now, is it enough of a mind game? Has it gotten Walker Fowler shaken enough to relinquish the lead away from the number 2 Bryson Neal? Will Neal be able to make this 2 wins in a row here today, and opening up the season like that would be a monumental way to do it. Would also be a major explanation point as Fowler gets a little cross-rutted there. Neal not able to capitalize. You see his head going down, trying to deflect some of that mud coming up off the roost of Walker Fowler in some of that wetter sand that we're seeing here at the Hogwaller property. Man, this is tight racing. These riders are nose to tail trying to fight through palmettos and lap traffic all at the same time. Here comes the number 7 of Hunter Hart. Looks like he's got Cole Richardson right on his rear grab bar as well. So a 2-for-2 battle going on there. 1 for first place and 1 for the 3rd place position. 1 for the center of the box, and the final spot on the box being battled for right now as we near the pit stops here in Florida. Walker Fowler going to stop, going to get himself a fresh pair of goggles. He's also going to get himself a fresh tank of fuel now. And you can see that he is gapped over the number 2 a little bit, so he has a little bit of breathing room in the pits this time around. So that's a pretty remarkable feat. There is Neal in finally. He gets new goggles. He gets some fresh fuel as well as they try to top that tank off. And there goes Hunter Hart. Hunter Hart regains the number 2 position as he passes Neal in the pits. Can he hang on to it? Will he be that shield? Will Fowler take the win? Stick around to find out. Coverage of the 2021 GNCC Series on MAVTV is brought to you by Specialized E-Turbo Bikes. It's you, only faster. Rocky Mountain ATVNC.com. Get ready. And by Yamaha. Revs your heart. And welcome back to the sands of Florida, round number 2 of America's premier off-road racing Grand National Cross Country Championship Series. Rodney Tomlin, that's Walker Fowler out front in this one, and he has displayed pretty much dominance as far as the sands of Florida are concerned here today, and he takes it right down to the checker flag and the win. No one in the rear view as Walker Fowler makes the statement he was looking to make here today. What a wild one, and it came down to a battle, man, against not only each other, but against the course itself. It was a tough one out there. Let's head on down to the winner's circle and check in with Fowler.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you know what? I think we just got lucky. Like, that's all there is to it. We got lucky.
That's it? Just luck? Pure luck?
So that's all it takes to win a championship. That's all it takes to win races is a little bit of luck. So I got lucky. Hopefully I get lucky a couple more times in my career.
Well, Walker Fowler certainly has been a very lucky person right now. Hunter Hart looking for a little bit of that luck himself as he'll take the number 2 position, and troubles back there for the 3rd place position of Cole Richardson. Something happening to Bryson Neal. He will not finish the race, so Hart gets 2nd, and it looks like Cole Richardson will roll across the line in the number 3 position. Let's head down and listen to Hart.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, super pumped. I was joking with Mark at the start. I was like, buddy, watch this. We're going to get a whole shot today. And managed to get the whole shot. And then Walker, I let Walker by because I was like, I figured he could set a better pace than I could. And it was sweet. You know, I followed him for the first 2 laps. And then it was nice. You know, I was able to be out front and just make it easy on myself all day. And then Cole and I were in a battle that last lap. And it was intense, but it was a good day. It was solid, super good day.
Well, I'll tell you what, the tides are certainly certainly changing here in the GNCC Racing Nation, and Hunter Hart finishing second. Cole Richardson in the number 3 spot, both behind Walker Fowler. Adam McGill in 4th place, the Gator, and Jared McClure rounds out the top 5.
There you go. Yeah, we definitely had a lot more speed. We got around Hunter, he blitzed the mud hole, got around me, and ended up losing my goggles there and just taking roost all day. And I just kind of disappointed with how I rode. The second half of the race we rode really well, and just kind of couldn't get around Hunter there. And we tried to make a pass stick there at the end, clipped a little tree. I was under the impression I got 4th, but I'll take 3rd. Not happy with it, but that's why we have Georgia next weekend.
Well, I'll tell you, a lot of people surprised by this day, but one big surprise for Hunter Hart is the fact that this may be maybe the best ride he's ever ridden. Got the whole shot, led for a while. Walker Fowler out front, right behind him. Got back out front of Walker Fowler, battled with Bryson Neal for the 2nd place position, dropped back, got back around, and was able, at the checker flag, to actually take the 2nd place position. So big day for Hunter Hart, big day for Walker Fowler, as well as Bryson Neal will score 0 points, so that will help out as far as the championship points race is concerned in that battle, at least between he and the number 2, but there's still a host of other riders that have their hat in the ring as far as this championship is concerned, and it's a long way to round number 13. We just wrapped up round number 2 of this 2021 season, and I'll tell you, if the first 2 rounds are any indication of what we can expect, late pit stops, out of rhythm pit stops through the first couple of rounds for some of the leaders out there, and of course mechanical failures, pushing it to the limits. It's going to be a great GNCC season. Walker Fowler right here pretty much knew that he had this one in the bag. Not sure what happened after this pit stop, though. I know that Bryson Neal took a little extended pit stop. He had some mud to the face, but it was quick in and out for Hunter Hart. This is what got him the 2nd place position. A good move in the pit stop strategy. Something else happening to Bryson Neal on the course, which took him out of the running, and it brought Cole Richardson right back into that number 3 position. But this guy right here, win number 61, Walker Fowler, caps another day of history in GNCC racing. That's going to wrap things up for us from Palatka, Florida. We'll be heading to Washington, Georgia for the General GNCC. Be sure and join us there for all the latest and greatest in GNCC racing news. Be sure and log on to GNCCRacing.com. For all of us here in the GNCC, I'm Rodney Tomlin. Have a great day, everybody.